Yo, what is going on, team? Just wanted to jump on and give my trade recap for tonight. Today's today sorry. Today's trade was a W, so which is good. It feels good, but again, we're gonna stay composed and stay focused and make sure that we're not kind of um getting too overconfident to the point where we start to get reckless. So it's a win is important, but a new day will be tomorrow, and we stay composed and we stay focused on the charts, no distractions. Giving it our all every single day. But yeah, in terms of high time frame bias, I was considering longs. I really was. I was looking for longs mainly, just because we took out that kind of all time high. We had a reaction, right? We tried to sell off, and then buyers just took control, and we closed above this high again with like a bullish candle like this. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like ideally, we're looking to go long. Like most highest probable is to go long, right? Like all time frames are showing that we're pretty much ready to kind of make that extension leg up. So we made that low, made that high. We had that reaction from taking out these highs here, thinking that we would go short, but what ended up happening was that we actually took out these lows here, and it was enough to kind of push price higher here. So so the main draws were these hourly highs as well as these hourly lows down here. Oh, sorry, not these hourly highs. These hourly highs, because we were overall bullish. And yeah, I ended up taking a short, right? Like all buyers was pointing towards, to the upside, but I was just playing off the probable of what the market was doing right then and there, and the draw that it was likely to take out, right? So in terms of the draws, internal draws, right? We had these lows as well as these lows, and as well as those hourly lows right here. And the trade ended up being a continuation, right? So we had, 9 o'clock would have been here. As you guys can see, this candle first opened up. We tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap here. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like we're starting to make our way towards these draws down here, right? And especially taking out this draw. So ideally, like if we were to go long, right, we want to see a V-shaped reversal from this point on, right? Because then we invalidate this POI, we catch an inverse of this leg, and we take out this overall draw, which is up here, right? But what ended up happening was that since we had internal draw down here as well, price ended up taking that out as well before kind of was enough to push price up all the way further up again. So it was just a matter of kind of just playing what the market gave me, right? The market opened, and I see that we've taken out, that draw that we want us to see get taken out. And, oh, sorry. This candle didn't even open. Let me see here. Yeah, so that draw got taken out, right? So it's just a matter of, okay, cool. Like if we're looking to reverse, it would be taking out this low here. It would be something like this, right? And we catch a continuation back up again. But and just the reactions of what I saw on the 1 minute is what was the kind of decider for me to go short after seeing it tap into this 5-minute fair value gap here. We see a flush move all the way down onto these lows here, and that was my final take profit, as these lows were not really achievable. But again, I wanted a flush trade in, easy in and out. This trade honestly lasted like 2 minutes, I think. Yes, we got the tap in, we enter here, and the trade literally lasted barely a minute. I'd say 2 minutes max. So a quick and easy trade, which was nice to see, because it just means that the it kind of helps with my mental perspective on things, because the longer I'm in a trade for, the more kind of nervous I get. So which is nice that this trade actually ended up being super clean all the way through to these internal lows down here, to the point that we actually took out these lows over here as well, right? Kind of sweeping out all the draws in terms of what we saw previous price action here. So we took out these lows, and yeah, again we get that 5-minute push from this 5-minute fair value gap. I know on TradingView it doesn't say that we actually tapped into this, but on the broker that I'm using at the moment, we did fill that 5-minute gap, and we get that slight reaction, which tells me that, hey, like, even though we didn't react from the 5-minute fair value gap on TradingView, as long as we get the reaction with confirmation on our Alpha 6 broker platform thingy, once we get that fill and then we get that displacement out, I'm looking to go short. So yeah, quick and easy trade, just taking out those internal draws on the day. Yeah, overall high time frame, like our overall draw was these highs. We got all these stacked liquidity here. It's just a matter of, like, we have all these stacked highs here, all right, relative equal highs, right? So that's a really strong magnet for price, but it's just a matter of when is it going to take out these highs, right? Is it when we take out these lows, these internal lows down here, or is it not enough and we need to come back down lower to take out these 1 hour highs, 1 hour lows, sorry, because on the 4 hour, we are still overextended in terms of a leg, right? We don't know where the bottom is, right? So like, we don't know where the top is, right? So if we draw a fib from these lows to these highs, we can see that, we're obviously in a premium on the 4 hour time frame. So shorts, even down lower, wouldn't look too bad, but we are overall bullish. But again, I just played off what the draws were on the day, especially on the 5-minute. And I see that, we get that respect from that 5-minute fair value gap there, and we get a nice push out. I'm looking to go short. So yeah, so we had the over high time frame bias set, right? We had the which is obviously buys. Again, on the 1 hour time frame, we sweep these highs, we get a retracement, but it's not enough to come down and fill these gaps here. But instead we get a nice full bullish close above these highs. So ideally I'm going long. The overall trend was to go long, but again, we still had some internal draws that price wanted to take out, and that was confirmed using a reaction from a 5-minute gap, which got filled and it got respected. And especially after taking out this first draw here, and we come up and fill a 5-minute gap, I'm looking to go short, especially when we get a nice reaction out of it, and we come out straight flush down to these lows down here. So yeah, pretty happy with that trade overall. Nice and quick and easy. I'll show you guys on the broker system exactly where I entered. So this is what I meant by how we filled that 5-minute gap here. Do you see how we had that 5-minute fair value gap here, and price actually came and filled it all the way, right? So again, all our kind of boxes were ticked, right? Because if I'm looking on my board, right, we have a high time frame bias, we have a story, right? We have liquidity draws, which overall we have an hourly low above and an hourly low we have an hourly high above and we had an hourly low below. But we were playing off what the market gave us, as we also had some internal draws as well that we could look to target, which is probable because we entered off a reaction of a 5-minute fair value gap. So to me, that was that reaction from that 5-minute gap was a high probability trade for me, and I'll explain to you guys. I'll show you guys in a second that. Yeah, and I just wanted to say that, we filled in our trading plan, right? We had a high time frame bias, we had a story, we had liquidity, right? We had our hourly highs and lows, right, as draws, And we also had our internal draws as well that we look to target, which, as you guys can see here, we had these 5-minute sets of lows, these lows down here, which was, these lows, as well as these lows down here. And we also had low time frame execution. So we used a 5-minute gap, right? And we used that low time frame execution, was that fully, that bullish kind of extension all the way out from that gap. And I'll show you guys in a second that when we had that bullish close, we overpowered these 3 bullish candlesticks here. So that was, to me, was a perfect confirmation of a low time frame execution. And the last point is to journal wins or losses, right? And we also had, reactions from zones, candle closes. We had a nice V-shaped recovery off this 5-minute fair value gap. So, we're ticking all the things that we need to tick, right? So, again, super happy with how that kind of played out. And we looked every day to kind of fill in those, those rules, and making sure that, our trading plan is there. Our trading plan is there to stop us from being reckless in the markets as well. Being patient, being disciplined. If something doesn't present itself, it's not your trade to take. So, that's something that I will continue to work on and to build on. But yeah, in terms of low time frame, right? So once we get that tap into that 5-minute, we go into the 1-minute. And we see here that after we get that reaction from the zone here, we get a nice bullish close out of it. And that's our reaction from our zone, right? Which is one of the notes on my whiteboard. Reactions from zone, right? And we also had a bonus of it being a V-shaped recovery. So, we get a clear V-shape here. As you guys can see, we get a clear V-shape. And we had a nice closeout. So, that was, to me, was a perfect trade in terms of execution and follow my bias. Well, my bias was longs, but I was, our bias is based on draws and liquidity. So we can see that after taking out these 5-minute lows, it wasn't enough to push us higher back up to these highs again. And how do we know that? It's because this 5-minute fair value gap didn't end up getting flipped, but instead we get that nice bearish reaction out of it. So overall, beautiful trade. Ended in like 2 minutes. No, not even that. Ended in 2 minutes, like a minute and 30 seconds. Like literally, we entered on this candle close here, and we get that nice straight flush down, but not yet to these lows. And that when that second candle opened, it flushed through and took out those lows down there. So yeah, overall, a great trade. I would say in my books, a great trade. I'm pretty happy with that. And we'll leave it there. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching these videos. You guys keep me going. I know that the only person that watches this is my girl. And shout out to you. You're keeping me going and making sure I'm staying on my journey, no matter the wins and losses, and like how far I've come as well, especially with trading. It's been a long way, but again, there's still a long way to go. So, we haven't fully made it yet, but, we are making progress with our psychology as well as our trading strategy as well, kind of customizing it to the point where it makes sense for me and, what works for me. So, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night or morning, wherever you guys are from. And let me know if you guys took any trades tonight, whether you guys won or you lost, or if you realize you guys did something like wrong, or did you just get unlucky, or you can't figure it out. Let me know. And so we can all kind of just share our experiences in a safe environment where, like showing losses on social media will be okay. So yeah. So again, thank you guys so much. Wouldn't really come this far, or wouldn't take accountability or responsibility for the bad trades and the bad psychology I've taken. I wouldn't have come this far again if it wasn't for this journal that I've decided to make on YouTube, like all the way in November or September or whenever I made it. So yeah, it's 12 o'clock. I got work tomorrow, which will be fun. Not sure if I will be trading tomorrow, as I'm hanging out with my girl, so it's just a matter of what time I get home. But there's no rush to it. The markets are open every day, and you want to enjoy life as much as you can. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up for today's video. Again, thank you guys so much. God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a great night or morning, and I'll see you guys in the next video.